Hi, good evening. My name is Mr. Schultz or Mike Schultz, and I am teaching your son or daughter and basically what is civics. It's a much longer title. It's like American History, Principles of Government and Civic Engagement or something like that. Anyway, so yes, your child is taking civics with me. And I just want to take a couple minutes to kind of just talk to you a little bit about the course, show you a little bit about how our Canvas page works so that you can kind of be informed and you know how to get information, to find out what we're covering, things of that nature. So first of all, let's talk about some basic information. Let me scroll down here a little bit. So first of all, my email address is there on the screen. It's obviously on the school website as well. So if you do want to email me, by all means, pull it off the school website, and I will respond within 24 hours, sometimes 48 hours, depending on the time frame. The other thing I can recommend to you to kind of stay in the loop in terms of what's going on is using Remind. If you're not familiar with Remind, Remind is a free program where basically I send out text messages to students and tell them about upcoming assignments, remind them about things to bring in, just so that there's this easy form of communication that's a little less formal and a little bit more immediate than an email address. So if your child is in my first block class, basically what you do is you text 81010. It will then respond asking for a code, and on the screen here you will see the code. So you just respond with the at symbol and the numbers and letters combined thereafter, and you'll be in there. So then how that benefits you would be then you would know exactly, you know, what's going on. It is a two-way form of communication as well. So if you can send me remind messages as well. I just ask if you could do me a favor. If you sign up for it, please use your first last name, and then if you could in parentheses put your child's name just to make it a little bit easier to know exactly who I'm talking to, and make sure there's not a miscommunication or misunderstanding. So yeah, those are the best two methods of getting in touch with me. So just a little bit about the course. Like I said, it's civics, that basically in plain English means government. So we kind of start with the principles that were kind of the founding ideals and plans of our government, and then we move into what we're doing right now is basically early American history, where we cover the Revolution, the founding documents, what was the influence on those, why did they get created, and what ultimately their impact is, and then we'll travel through the branches of government and like how government is impacting you and students. And so this is kind of a big survey course designed to give students just kind of an overview of how our government works, what are kind of your basic rights, and even as students, what they can and cannot do. Um, so, a couple things here, learning strategies wise. If I met with you on the open house before school started, the one things I kind of said is I'm going to try very hard to be more paper driven. The last year and a half with online learning, I found that even though paper is kind of a little bit harder maybe to keep up with, I do believe that it is something that makes it easier to learn. So you're going to find a lot of the things that kids are doing or students are doing in this class will be on paper. There will be an occasional electronic assignment, but I'm really driving home, um, you know, that I want them to be doing work on paper. I think it was one of the biggest complaints I think students had for last year. Now, the other thing that's kind of connected to that is by this point, I think pretty much every student has already done this, but if they haven't, and this is the first you're hearing it, one of the things I'm really stressing with students is that they should have a binder. One of the things we're doing in my classroom is with every handout, we're doing dividers between units and we're numbering all the papers in sequential order. So when I talk to the class, I can say, hey, pull out number 7, and they know exactly what sheet I'm talking about. It also makes it easier if they were to get sick or miss time. I know exactly what sheets they need and how easily it is to get it back organized because everything's in sequence. Um, yeah, so a binder with dividers, a pencil pouch is always helpful, highlighters, these kind of quintessential items that will keep them organized, but also make note taking and anything else we do kind of more, um, you know, simplified. So those are kind of the big things. The thing I did want to walk you through, this is essentially, if you're looking on my screen right now, this is my Canvas course. Every student is loaded into this. What I really want to show you is, as a parent, I want you to know how to navigate this site and find out what we're doing. And then you can be on top of your students as well. So what you're looking at right now is my view. Let me switch over to student view, and it will change just slightly. There we go. So you'll notice that there's this drop-down menu or list of things to click on over here. So this might change a little bit, but for the most part, that's all they're going to see. So when they come into my class, this is what will bring them to the home page. And then over here, you have assignments, discussion, grades, modules, and files. The thing I tell students, and I'll relay to you as well, the best way to know what we're doing and what's going on is to click on modules. So let's go ahead and click on modules. All right, so the way this is set up, it is more or less this like sequence of everything we're covering. So the top module, which is important class information, it's got the syllabus, it's got the grading policy, it's got a welcome to class, it's got the remind codes for each individual class. There is a late form for Google work or for late work. If we're doing something online and you turn it in late, I want them, you fill out a Google form. We haven't really done a lot of that yet, so it's not quite something to be worried about. But if we start doing some online work, it just lets me know that you turned something in and makes it easier for me to stay on top of grading. All right, so the thing I kind of want to talk to you about is each module essentially is a unit. And what you'll notice is I've got these text headers here, which tell us the topic and a date. And then what comes directly beneath it would be any handouts or slideshows or links that are necessary. So if we just kind of quickly scroll through this, you'll notice I got the topic and the dates. The reason I do this is to make it as simple as possible for students to know exactly what we're doing. Now, I put dates in here. Sometimes the dates fluctuate based off of kind of pacing and what's going on in the actual classroom, but this is just designed to give you and the students an idea of what we're up to. And so currently, as you can see here, in terms of the dates, window dates, I'm recording this a few days before the open house. We're doing stuff about the revolution. What are these things that led to the American Revolution? And so everything for that topic will appear under this text header. And when we get to the next one, which will be basically the Declaration of Independence, you'll see Declaration of Independence dash and then dates so that you know again what date we cover all this stuff. Um, Hopefully that was helpful. If you have any questions, just let me go back to the home page for a second and you can see my email one more time. It is michael1.schultz@cms.k12.nc.us. I'm hoping your children are enjoying the course. I know I'm enjoying teaching this year. And if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out at all and have a good evening.